Well, hello there.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
A little right to left action this time to mess with everybody with OCD. It's actually fucking with my OCD too. I've made a lot of changes with my rifles. I've decided that my 11.5s are all gonna have 1-4s or P4XIs, maybe a T5 XI, but the short boys are gonna have that. The 10.5 is gonna get a comp M4. 14.5s are gonna get a 1-6, and my 16-inch guns are gonna have 1-8s or the 1-10. So I'm gonna be moving a lot of optics around, getting some other stuff, but it's all on hold because I can't afford to do shit. Which we'll get into in a minute, I guess. But just trying to keep my head above water, do all the things I need to do, and be smart in these troubled times. I've had to redo this update video to the point where I don't even care about doing it anymore. And I know some of you really like these update videos, but it's a lot less people like them than don't like them. But it's so much shit is happening that it's difficult to do one of these and have it stay relevant. And you're seeing that happen with a lot of these YouTube channels. And quite frankly, something that's pissing me off, especially for would-be libertarians or conservatives or whatever you want to label yourself, but I'm getting pissed as fuck at those people too. They're so fat. They're doing the same thing the left is doing. They're jumping to conclusions. They're not telling the truth about stuff. The Supreme Court leaker is a perfect example. We have no idea who the fuck leaked, right? But they damn sure put two people out with their faces and their names and all this other stuff. And we're supposed to be the side that's against doxing, but we don't even know who did it. And they're putting this shit out. They're not waiting for the investigation, which is not being done by any of these other corrupt federal agencies. It's going to be done by the marshal of the court. So they're going to find out who did it, but everyone just wants to be the first. And it's nauseating to me because I've been in that situation so many times personally where I've been given an investigation and they're pushing this one person and it was never that person. And when I find out it's somebody else and I show them video evidence and witness testimony and like all this stuff that points to somebody else, and it could be hard substantiated evidence.
No! This is not how this was supposed to go!
They're just like, no, it was that guy. And you're like, motherfucker, look at what I just showed you. How does the evidence support that that's the case? But it doesn't matter because everyone wants to go off half-cocked, and I'm getting sick and fucking tired of everybody at this point. Like, not y'all that watch my videos and stuff, like not you guys in the comments. I love interacting with everybody and talking back and forth in the comments, and the other much better YouTubers that come in here and comment as well. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
But some of these people that just, their whole channel is doing news or Second Amendment news or commentary or whatever, which I, you know, I'm not trying to turn into, but I have a feeling I might at some point. But they're just doing the same shit as these scared ass lefties all the time. Jumping to conclusions, it's gotta be that, like, they don't let shit play out. They don't observe things. And yeah, I get wanting to be ahead of certain things like gun bans or proposed legislation. Like, yeah, absolutely. But when it's somebody's like life, you know, when it's their livelihood or people could go do bad stuff, there's crazy people on both sides. Those people could die and it'd be the wrong information. It's like Richard Jewell all over again. My advice to those people is slow the fuck down, verify your sources. I know you're trying to get as much money as you can off of YouTube and everything. That's your hustle, that's fine. But don't become them trying to do it. You know, like, I don't know. I'm just getting sick with a lot of this stuff because a lot of people are no better than the people they criticize. The shoe probably fits me too, man. At least I'm not doxing people that probably had nothing to do with it. You don't know. So first things first, a couple things on the domestic front. Information warfare is afoot. I highly recommend everybody jump down in the description and watch the S2 Underground video on 5th generation warfare if you haven't. It's a very good video about information warfare, and it's probably the scariest warfare because you don't know who is doing it, and there's multiple factions doing it at once. So you got the Chinese are doing shit, the Russians are doing shit. The Russians and the Chinese aren't on the same page like everybody thinks they are. You also have the shadow groups like Soros and the World Economic Forum, you know, Klaus Schwab and all those people. And I understand you sound insane when you talk about this shit. I feel crazy laying this stuff out, but we're simultaneously in the year of the most disinformation and people trying to confuse each other and getting us to fight, but also all the shit coming undone at once. It's like this mess. It's like a tornado. You don't know where it's going, you don't know what it's gonna fuck up, but you know it's gonna fuck something up. And you're just trying not to be in its path. And it's cathartic to see because a lot of things are being demonstrated to be true, but there's also a myriad of people pushing these false narratives and all this other stuff that are demonstrably false, but people are eating it up like it's like it's the proper thing. Like here in Florida, the parental rights bill, right? They call it "Don't Say Gay." It's not anywhere in there, but they were successful in labeling it that, and everybody said it. And they have this media machine that'll just run that all day until everybody picks it up, and all the NPCs are just going to be like, "Don't say gay, don't say gay, don't say gay," you know. And how do you fight that? You're like, "Hey, did you read it?" "No, don't say gay, don't say gay." Like, of course you didn't read it. Half the people that agree with the bill didn't read it. So it's just, But there's a lot of text that's available that's the actual text, like bills or the leaked Supreme Court decision again. Nobody read that. They didn't sit down and read it. They just wanted to get upset. So again, there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of information warfare that's afoot, and staying as grounded as possible without getting sucked into the bullshit is what's important. So believe things you can touch and do your due diligence to find out what's actually happening. Don't just read a headline or read the top of an article or the Chiron or whatever and just be like, "Yep, that's it." That's what idiots do. All right. And I know me saying this isn't going to convince anybody, but just sit down and look at the facts. Look at the fact. I will never forget being on a ship going to help Puerto Rico and all that stuff after the hurricane, and the news saying we weren't there. They're like, "Oh, the Navy's not helping." Like, bitch, I'm on this ship right now. I'm right here. You know, it's so fuck. And no one cared to look. No one cared to see that they sent 5 amphibious, like a whole amphibious raid group was sent down to help Puerto Rico. Nobody cared. Nobody checked until like 10 days later. That's ridiculous. But nobody cares. They just want to get mad and get in their feelings and burn things down and all this other stuff. Our society's really fraying right now. It's very concerning. And it's only going to get worse because the left is losing CNN, Twitter, and they've lost the initiative and a lot of narratives. The Build Back Better thing got shot down so much that they're putting it in the budget. There's all this stuff that's happening where they just keep losing. Everything is a loss. So they look at gun rights and they start saying, "Well, if you took abortion from us, we're taking guns from you." And that's not how that works. But they're going to try it anyway. That's going to be a big push from them anyway. And what they don't understand is, and feel how you will about abortion, I'm not here to take sides. I'm going to cop out like every other gun channel that's talking about it like a pussy. But we're not here to talk about that. I'm just talking about the technicalities and the constitutionality. Roe v. Wade was decided in the courts. After it was decided, nobody wanted to be the person to put a bill together and pass it and make it law. So they just relied on the Supreme Court decision. Whereas the Second Amendment exists, and then other Supreme Court decisions did nothing but reinforce it. Absent those Supreme Court decisions, you still have the Second Amendment, whereas you don't have that with Roe v. Wade. There's no federal law on that. So all it's going to do is go back to the states. You can't tell this to them. They're going to get upset, but it's essentially what the Constitution intended. They tried to codify it, however the fuck you say it, but it didn't. It failed. because they couldn't just do a normal thing. They tried to push further. And of course it was going to fail. So it's generating a lot of hate and discontent, which it's going to be our job come November to go vote. Absolutely vote. I don't think this is enough to derail the red wave. I don't think it's going to be as savage as it was once going to be. But I don't think this is enough to energize the base, because women can't find formula for their kids. You know, no one has discretionary income if you're at a certain income bracket. There's a lot of bad shit happening simultaneously, so it's not enough. But if the religious right keeps pushing and they say, all right, now do gay marriage, now do this, now do this, shut the fuck up. Sit down, shut up. I'm sick of paying damn near $5 a gallon for gas. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. I need to feed myself and buy ammunition and do the things that are important to me. Stop it. Stop it. Just let it be what it is and keep it moving. And we have to vote in November. But if this shit keeps happening where they just keep taking away things, it's going to energize people that would otherwise just fucking chill.
Think you do it?
Yes.
What did it cost?
Everything.
Because it's so bad right now. And again, the information warfare is only helping it. We're in a really rough spot. And they're only going to get more savage. So, and they're only going to come after us harder. It's this terrible, again, this storm, this tornado. You have no idea where it's going to go. And for so long they were imploding and we just had to let them implode. I'm not saying the Supreme Court decision shouldn't have happened or should have happened or whatever. But because it happened, it's starting to the tornado's starting to shift direction. And if you keep fucking with stuff, it's not gonna go the way we want it to, and we need to get out of this mess. That's what I'm focused on. I know that's not gonna rub some people the right way. Being realistic, we need to maintain the tactical advantage, and we're gonna lose it if we keep pushing off on all these directions. We need to stay focused. So that's my piece on that, I guess. But the left is only gonna get more aggressive, and you're seeing it now. The other thing you gotta worry about is the alphabet agencies, the DOJ, the DHS, the FBI. They're all focused inward and not towards proper threats or proper legal things. So we're in clown world. So act accordingly. It's just the way it is. Same thing with the infrastructure bill. They sabotaged that with an executive order, and the EPA won't let anybody build anything. So even if you're on that side and you just like guns a little and you're left leaning, that's fine. You're welcome here. But at the same time, the shit's not like, if you were happy the infrastructure bill got passed, it didn't really get passed. It's just giving money to those people. There's not been one thing since it passed in November that's been done. And because of this executive order and what the EPA is doing, nothing is going to get done. Not even the green projects, not even your solar panels, your fucking windmills, your charging stations. None of that shit's happening. Nothing. Not a single thing. The only thing that's happening is a payoff.
But one never knows for sure. Reality is often disappointing.
Just like the payoff to Ukraine. So it's just extracting wealth from us and sending it everywhere but where it's actually going to help. We're also dealing with the logistical shortage, food, commodities, ammunition, equipment, gas. All this stuff is hitting at once. And I know the inflation numbers are 8.3%, but it's really worse than that. And I know it was 8.5%. It dropped a little bit to 0.2%, which is funny because I just got groceries and they were more expensive. Everything I bought was more expensive. So it's not actually going down. They're gonna feed you that it's like, oh, it's gone down a little bit. No, it hasn't. Gas has gone up, groceries have gone up, services have gone up, everything's up. So It's really probably 10.25%, 10.5%, something like that. And if we use the pre-1980 numbers, it's through the roof there. And we're sending a third of Ukraine's GDP to them. A third of their GDP. That's insane to me. Absolutely batshit crazy. For what? It's not even gonna get to them. It's gonna be a payoff and no one's gonna see it. And on the Ukraine-Russia thing, again, disinformation. Neither side's to be trusted right now. Neither side's to be trusted at all. Don't believe any of it. And the support died. Like, you'll see the people that still believe in it and they're like, why isn't everybody wanting to do this? It's because we don't like getting lied to. Everything was a fucking lie. The ghost of Kiev was a lie. You know, some of these mass graves were not true. Like, it's just, yeah, they're there. There's people getting, the only people that are losing right now is the Ukraine civilians. I don't trust the Ukrainian government. I don't trust the Russian government. As far as I'm concerned, they're both crooked and twisted and they're going to do evil shit. Both sides are going to be bad. And that's no knock on Ukrainians. I have a lot of Ukrainians that work for me. They're great people. And man, it's so hard because you don't know what to believe, and then you find out everything's bullshit and you get pissed. And the people that suffer are the Ukrainian civilians. But I also don't believe that we need to go to World War III to fix it. So you're between a rock and a hard place. Do I want to help them? Yes. Are they going to get helped? No. That's just the reality of it. So I don't know, man. It's not a good pill to swallow, but I don't like getting lied to either. And do people need to die because I got lied to? No, but I don't know. Everybody broke their word. We broke our word. Russia broke their word. And a lot of people just broke their word. And that's really what everybody needs to understand. All this shit together is this perfect storm. And it's going to show you how to act. Understanding why things are going wrong is going to help guide your actions moving forward. So if you're confused or you don't know what's going on or you don't know why people are acting a certain way, it's because all this shit's happening at once. And understanding that gives you the information to say, okay, these people are acting funny. Let me stay away from them. These agencies are looking at me like I'm a problem. I'm not. Let me not act up. You have to move accordingly to the situations and deal with the hand that you've been dealt. And it sucks. It's terrible. I got nothing good to say about it, but that's the reality of the situation on the ground. And all this shit everybody likes talking about without rule of law or end of the world as you know it or any of this other stuff. This is that situation.
Reality is often disappointing.
So understanding that and making these moves now, making sure you're provisioned now, really clamping down and making a solid budget and sticking to it, and making sure that, hey, I'm getting a little bit extra food. Hey, I'm getting some water. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm buying like 3 boxes of ammo. Whatever you've got to do in these times to make it through. If you have too many things and you need to downsize a little bit to make sure you get through this, then that's what you got to do. But make smart decisions so that you get through this in a as comfortable as possible manner, as smartly as possible. That's my whole thing. I know this has been doom and gloom this whole time. I know this isn't a happy video. I haven't made too many jokes. And the only thing you can do half the time is fucking laugh, because this is, again, it's clown world. But you still have to work out. You still have to make sure you're covering your bases, your bills are paid, and doing all this stuff. Because if that shit takes you out, then you weren't in the game to begin with. So there's always going to be stuff that's pulling at you and trying to take you down, and you have to move forward regardless. And sometimes no one's going to help you. More often than not, no one's going to help you. You might have ride or die boys. They may not be there all the time. It's not their fault. They got other stuff to do. A lot of my boys moved away because their orders took them places, or they got out of the military. So I've got ride or die boys that will do anything for each other. But we're also separated by geography. So be smart, do the things you got to do, and no one's coming, it's up to you. Focus on the stuff you got to do, Don't get sucked into this bullshit. Like, I want to be the first person. Oh, I want to get in on this. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Do your due diligence, cover your bases, and push forward. And if one of your boys needs help, help them out. All right. There's a lot of us that are going to get real stressed here soon. There's a lot of us that don't make the same amount of money as others. And things are going to get real tough. And it's only going to get worse. So we have to vote this November and next November. Don't let people discourage you. You have to keep moving forward regardless. So let's do that together. I've talked enough. Thanks for watching. Take care out there.